Good morning. I'm doing something a little different today. Coming to you during my dawn patrol time. I'm going to scoot back here and sit on this pillow so you can watch the sunrise behind me. But I wanted to do some tuning with you. Offer a little tune you practice session here if you'd like to soak this up now or later. So come on down. And I'm going to sit back here so you can see a little more clearly. But yeah, welcome. And I find myself thinking about how can we tune ourselves during tough times, right? And how can these practices, perspectives, and even the use of our psychology, how can that help us through tough times, which probably right now a lot of us are feeling, right, for various reasons. Some elements of right now feeling difficult, uncertain, unpleasant, unwanted even, right? And how do we work with that? How do we deal with that? How do we take care of ourselves? And the word I like to use, how do we tune ourselves? So I wanted to invite you into my space here in Long Beach with some candles and some sunrise on this Sunday morning, and invite you to drop in with me and remind us of some of the simplest ways we can take care of ourselves and tune ourselves, especially in tough times, right? So right there is an indicator of one practice, right? That use of breath, which we all know about somewhere inside of us. Although I like to clarify some of what I've learned. So let's do some things like that. So yeah, sit in a position that feels comfortable if you'd like to join me. I'm sitting cross-legged right now with a couple pillows because that's the way it's comfortable for me to sit cross-legged. But I might change my position while we're sitting here too, just listening to my body. And in my opinion, that's more of a yoga approach versus forcing ourselves into a position that doesn't feel good. And then when your body says, ouch, staying there. So find a position that feels good for you. And yeah, if you can sit somewhat aligned, that's going to help with your energy flow. And yeah, let's just let ourselves drop in and tune in to how we're doing, how we're feeling, which is one of the big ways these approaches, these practices can help us. It's just to remind us that it's important that we do things to help us drop in, tune in, tap into how we're actually feeling, how we're actually doing in the body, in the mind, right? With our energy, emotionally, what's happening in life. Yeah, so it invites us to do things that help us drop in and notice, tough and unpleasant as that may be. So one of the first things I like to share, one of the biggest approaches that helps, that's prime in my life right now, is right away, right now, as we're settling in, just starting to notice how we are doing, how we are feeling in the body, in the mind, in our energy, in our emotions, right? To bring in that super important non-judgment with what we're noticing. Bring in that attitude with ourselves, which I've now learned, even better said, could be more like kindness and compassion with ourselves. So bringing that in with yourself. And if you want some ideas for things like, what do you do with your hands if you're sitting and you're thinking you're maybe dropping into what you're going to call meditation? Well, really, you can do anything you want. But if you want some ideas, you could, some would say hands down, maybe in your lap, might have more of a grounding intention or effect. If you feel like that's what you might like to start here. But if you like something else, like palms up already, or something else, follow that. But settling into our position and just doing what we can to relax into where we're at, because relaxing is one of those things that's always going to help. So even as we're just starting to notice how we're doing, how we're feeling, with that non-judgment, with that kindness and compassion, let's already start to help with just adding the intention and the practice, playing with, experimenting with, relaxing more into your position. And that may sound good, but seem hard for various reasons. And that's why we use these practices to free up what could be stuck energy, tension, tightness, other people's energy, stored trauma, various reasons why it's hard for us to relax, right? And just also because a lot of us, our nervous systems are like wired towards stress right now. Me too. So that's why we practice and try things and learn and develop our ways of relaxing with all of these practices. And again, because relaxing is just better on all the systems, right? It's going to help our body function so much better, all of our organs do so much better, even absolutely affect our energy flow because it's all energy. So do what you can to start relaxing here. And one of the tools, tricks I'd like to share is relaxing, softening your face and jaw can do like a domino effect on your body, on your nervous system to get everything else to start to relax. So you might just play with that, soften your face, relax your jaw. And you might feel like you need to do that again and again and again. Me too. And that's where it's a practice, and we bring in that non-judgment. And we're also just getting to notice how we're holding tension, how we have been holding ourselves, holding our energy, right? And this is all giving us a chance to notice that and shift that, change that, practice something different. So relaxing your face and jaw, just experimenting with how much you could relax and soften the rest of your body into this position right now. And then, yeah, let's bring in that amazing tool of breath just in the simplest ways, because it is such powerful energy work, most of all, and bringing in that fresh oxygen, that fresh energy to help us so much and even help us release stuff. So let's get breath back towards how we were born, breathing back more into the belly. So as you're ready, very gently, just start to breathe more into your belly. A little bit more slowly, more fully in through your nose, filling up your belly like a soft balloon. Take your time with it, be gentle. And then out of your mouth or nose, slower, longer exhale. It's really the exhale that relaxes us, that releases tension, tightness, stuck energy. So you want to lengthen that out, slow it down, make sure it's complete. And so let's just start to work with that. Let's just take a few conscious breaths. That's all we're doing. Slower, longer, filling up that belly. And a lot slower and longer and more complete with those exhales out of your mouth or nose. And of course you could have your eyes opened or closed. And just tuning into how it's all energy, and already some of that tension, that tightness that you might feel in your body, in your energy, you could already be experimenting with breathing right into those tight places. Keep going with your conscious breath, and even seeing and feeling how that breath is helping you, changing you, shifting you, because that's also going to make it work better. So you might see and feel that breath coming in, see and feel the fresh oxygen, the fresh energy. Maybe you visualize it like light or energy. See it filling you up. And then feel how that exhale is clearing you out, freeing stuff up, helping you let stuff go. The more you see that and feel that, it's going to work even better. So that's another practice tool, is using the imagination in a way that helps us because it is so powerful, right? So how about one more slow, long, conscious breath here? Relaxing more, settling more into your position. And just noticing how you're feeling and doing at this point. And really, right, we've done just the simplest things. But that's what I love to just really share, that it can be, and absolutely is the simplest things, right, that we can do and practice and drop in and use to help us, especially in tough times, right? And to recognize we're tuning ourselves with just even these elements already that we've started to do, with settling into some stillness, right, is a tool. And bringing ourselves into the moment more already has been a tool, a practice tool. Presence, mindfulness, bringing ourselves more into the body, right, and not just in the head, because that also stresses us out. Bringing ourselves into that observer noticing mode is part of the therapy, right? And then absolutely bringing in that non-judgment and that kindness and compassion is huge therapy. And then practicing relaxing, right? Because that helps everything feel better, flow better, function better, gives us a chance to let go of stuff, which is really gonna help us have more energy, to not be bogged down and even almost like burdened with all that stuck energy, other people's energy we're always picking up, and energy, stored trauma of the past, right? And even in the present, there's like current trauma going on. So every time we're doing these practices, we're going in, doing that work with these simple things, right? Using that breath, free stuff up, let stuff go. Huge. So just notice how you might already feel different and better. And we haven't done a heck of a lot that looks like much, right? And that's where you're really getting to see that you're starting to tune yourself and have some sense of like playing with your inner technology, right? And with these tools, right? And then the idea is this just more now through the day. We're remembering and even coming into the body more, noticing how we're feeling, bringing in that non-judgment, that kindness and compassion, seeing what we can do to relax. And even by now, if you need to stretch a little bit and move, and if you want to join me, I didn't really plan to do a lot with poses, but yeah, part of the reason we use the exercises with things like yoga is to free up stuck energy, to get things moving, to stretch, realign, help the body be able to relax, right? And help energy flow more smoothly. And a lot of it helping the posture straighten out is going to help. And maybe some shoulder rolls, breathing. And maybe if you're sitting like this, I'm finding I want to change the position to more like a diva position, and a position that feels aligned. Again, I have my pillows so I can sit up straight. Let's keep breathing. And then because I'm doing this position, I'm going to go the other way with the legs too. And this is just like another nice way to sit. And if you're just sitting in your chair, then just try any sort of stretching you want to do at this moment. I'll do other days where I'm in a chair to show you things to do there. But a lot of the therapy here is the presence, right? The mindfulness, that attitude we're bringing in with ourselves. That's where it's the psychology. And then, yeah, we're getting to notice what's on our mind when we're doing any of these practices. Tune into thoughts, feelings, feel the feelings, breathe through those, and also quiet that mind is part of what we get to do. So let's try a couple tricks. And really, it's not, in my opinion, ever that we're going to just quiet the mind and then it's going to stay off for 30 minutes or something. I'd have to laugh because I feel like that's what a lot of us think. And it's just not, let me know if that happens for you. I don't think I've met anyone yet who that happens for. So I like to share the magic of 2 to 5 seconds of quiet for the mind is a huge deal. So playing with that, can you just create 2 to 5 seconds of quiet in your mind? So here's some ways to do that. And when we do just that, and then sure, yeah, if it ends up lasting longer, awesome. If thoughts come right back, cool. And then the job there, equal therapy, is to just notice what the thought is. And that's also helpful, right, to tune you into yourself more. So you're not failing in meditation when thoughts come in as part of the therapy. Watching that, being aware of that, feeling stuff. But then, yeah, playing with quieting the mind, and all these things we've done already help quiet the mind, right? Bringing ourselves into the body, bringing ourselves into the moment, using things like our breath, starting to shift our focus and attention. And we can even do things like listen to sounds more on purpose to start to quiet the mind. Some would say a meditative mind is more of a listening mind. And you could even try listening to the silence underneath the sounds right now. For again, just try 2 to 5 seconds. And what's cool, we now know, is when we quiet the mind, even for 2 to 5 seconds, it clears it in a sense, relaxes it, refreshes it, even can change the direction and nature of our thoughts, and is refreshing for, or boosts creativity. So hell yeah, for quieting the mind, but just 2 to 5 seconds, just playing with that. And then yeah, the idea is to play with that throughout the day, but especially if you're feeling terrible, because often the reason we're feeling terrible is because of what we're thinking, how we're thinking, right? So that's where these practices help us drop in tune in. And you could do all this on a walk, in the bath, right? Laying in a position, doing your dishes even. You could be playing with this inner awareness, practicing relaxing, practicing breathing, watching your thoughts, being in that kindness and compassion, right? And playing with quiet in your mind, because that's also going to help you relax and refresh and kind of change the momentum of that mind often, right? Because that's what can be the source of a lot of our misery too, is that momentum of the mind when it gets in that more dark, negative direction, which unfortunately, it does seem that's kind of what we're biologically wired towards more naturally, is like the fear-based survival kind of thinking that can feel so terrible. So we really do need to watch what we're feeding our minds with so that we can be in that more like positive mental state, like so many teachers talk about, like good versus evil, love versus fear, dark versus light, right? Whatever you call it. So that's where these tools help us do that though, right? Because they help us drop in, check out how we are using that mind with that non-judgment, but also that discernment. And then we also can decide, I'm going to start using it differently because I'm imagining the worst. I'm feeling terrible. I'm thinking about things that I regret, right? In all the ways that we might be using the mind that aren't always helpful. Although helpful to see what we're thinking and feel those feelings as they come up, right? Because that helps us free them. So all that's going to happen in our practices. And then again, it's all energy too. So what's cool is as we're dropping in, noticing that, we're also attending to it all as energy, freeing up stuck energy, getting energy moving, letting stuff go. So that's where it's so transformative, because it's all mind, body, soul work we're doing here, right? So quieting the mind, some tricks are, like we already mentioned, listening. And you could imagine your mind like another muscle that you could relax for 2 to 5 seconds. And while you're here, keep breathing, keep relaxing, keep changing your position as needed. Oh, by the way, I have my Poochie's socks on from my friend Claudia's amazing company. I love these new super warm ones. So we can also do things like put an image in the mind that helps it quiet and clear, even if we just hold it there 2 to 5 seconds. And you may not actually see something, you might just think about it or get a feeling. We're all a little different about that. But maybe imagining a clear blue sky in your mind as a way to quiet it and calm it for even, again, just 2 to 5 seconds. Not as colorful of a sunset as it could have been. And then one of my favorites that I got from Eric Schiffman, and then of course these are all things you could be now doing out in your day, and you could just do them preventatively. Just know it's a good idea to more often practice quieting your mind for 2 to 5 seconds, just to calm yourself, help your mind stay more steady, right? And focused and in a better direction. But oh yeah, this is one of my favorites from Eric Schiffman, one of my big yoga teachers, where you can imagine a windshield wipe that could go across your mind to quiet it and clear it for 2 to 5 seconds. How great is that? And then you just keep breathing, keep relaxing. Even when you're doing those things, if you feel like you notice yourself tense up again, just now you're just getting better at noticing that and then practicing relaxing. Re-soften that face and jaw. Use that breath. And then how about, I'm feeling like if you want to do well actually it's 2 different poses that are amazing medicine and therapy for all bodies, pretty safe for most bodies, but if you're not okay on hands and knees, then you can do this in a chair and sitting and create the motion. We're going to get on hands and knees and do some cat, cow, or cats and dogs. That's going to be some amazing, great, yes, obviously physical therapy for the body in that it's stretching us, realigning us, and strengthening us when we do even just some cat, dog, cat, cow. But also it's amazing energy work we're doing whenever we use any of these poses or any movement. It's getting our energy moving, it's freeing up stuck energy, then we bring in that breath, and that really does that even more so. So that's where you're doing amazing work mind, and it's going to affect your mind, your body, and even how you feel spiritually connected, because this is mainly amazing energy work that you're doing for yourself when you use any of these poses, in addition to, of course, the physical therapy. These two happen to be great for digestion, also going to be great for the thyroid and regulating hormones. So a good one if you're going to bring in a little something at home. Just doing these each day could really change your health and your life and your energy, mostly. So on hands and knees, you always want to be nice and aligned. Hands right on your shoulders, knees under hips. Hands nice and open, but if you have any tenderness in the wrists, make fists instead. So on these, we're going to gently arch, tip the tailbone up, look up as we inhale. And then as we exhale, we're rounding, tucking the buttocks, belly comes in and we look in. And ideally, we're inhaling all the way through the arch and looking up and exhaling all the way through the rounding. And what's beautiful with this kind of thing is you get to decide how big it is. That's where it's also going to be helping you develop your intuition and your mind-body connection, absolutely. And just get you better at being present with your body, honoring what's true, even though you're also going to work it as much as you can. And again, feel how these are stretching you, straightening you out. You might feel some cricks and cracks as they're realigning your posture, and they're strengthening all through the body. Really adding that breath. Eyes can be open or closed. And just about 10 of these are amazing. Maybe they get a little bit bigger, but you're deciding how big they are, right? Great. Amazing. Feel how it's freeing up stuck energy, getting your energy moving, bringing in new energy. And the idea is we want to be as relaxed as we can as we do all of the exercises in a yoga way. So yes, we're working, they're strengthening, but we're also relaxed about it because that's more efficient for our energy use, to be relaxed. Great. So just those really, and then I guess maybe one more. If you want to do either a child's pose all the way back, if that's okay for you, feet and knees straight, or an elevated child's pose is safer for some of us, tipping the buttocks up, forehead to the floor, and breathing into that for about a minute. A little bit of an inversion. This one elicits, turns on the relaxation response. Anti-anxiety pose here. Or again, if you love traditional child's pose, you can be all the way back, but only if that doesn't hurt anywhere. Both of the versions relax your nervous system. That's where this one's a really good one to build in, especially when we're going through tough times. More child's pose. Breathe into the pose. Tune into where you can breathe into. Feel how you're exhaling, letting stuff go, relaxing more. Good. Last breath here. And then come on up with care. Great. So that's all the poses I'm going to give you. Although maybe we could finish up with one nice heart-opening pose, if it's okay on your body. Interlace your hands behind your head, pull your elbows back. Hold that for about a minute, which is going to stretch and straighten out your posture, also giving us that power pose effect, which is going to boost feelings of confidence, feelings of well-being. Another anti-anxiety thing to do here. Breathing, hold it there, but it is a workout. You'll feel that strengthening across the back, so just hold it as long as it feels appropriate. Breathe into the pose. Relax everywhere else. Awesome. And then come on down when you're ready out of it. Maybe a few more shoulder rolls. But that kind of thing, adding that into our days, because that rounded posture is a lot of the reason a lot of us are having more anxiety and depression. That actually creates more anxiety and depression, this rounded posture that most of us are in, just from our lifestyles, right? Really restricts the breath, really changes our physiology, even changes us emotionally. So doing things to open up the posture, open up the heart, like just that kind of a move, or like we did earlier. is going to help stretch and straighten us to now just be more aligned, but also has that power pose effect of making us more confident, more present, and ready to handle life in tough times. So I'm glad that that one came up. So it's more sunny out there now. Thanks for joining me for this sunrise tune you session. I hope it's been helpful in reminding you of just some of the simple things you can do. Those simple things with remembering your conscious breath, especially those exhales. Remembering to relax more and do things that help you relax. To use things like gentle poses and movement to help you tune yourself energetically and help you let stuff go, get back in your body. And to let all of it help you quiet your mind more. Be present with what's happening in your mind, right? It's an important part of the tuning. It's just the tuning in, even though it's not easy. But that's where that non-judgment, that kindness and compassion is probably the most important practice, especially through tough times. So I hope that's helpful for you. Reach out if I can help you in any ways with your practices at home as you put together more of what tunes you, and just remembering how important your mornings are, because that's our freshest time, potentially energetically, but really any time, especially when we're noticing we're not feeling good mentally, physically, emotionally, or really feeling spiritually disconnected, that we can remember to come back to our tuning, right? To tune in to how we're doing and let ourselves see it and feel it and deal with it and even heal it through using these practices, right? And again, because it's all energy. And then again, the more that you stay on top of how you're feeling, the easier it is to manage. The less of the dramatic peaks we're going to hit. So that's where I'm such a fan of more like most mornings, doing some simple things to tune ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, energetically, so that we can deal with the tough times, right? So, love you so much. Thanks for being here, you guys. Share this with anyone you feel like could benefit, and so honored to share with you. I'll close it up with that important namaste, which could be helpful at this time in the world, right? That reminding that I am the light within, you have that light within, we all have that God within, right? We are also connected. Remembering to see that in ourselves, feel that in ourselves, and see that in others. Remember that when we go out in the world. So thankful to share this practice with you. Namaste.